Hey, sorry about that delay. I had some settings wrong. I guess I hadn't switched to my live settings. I was on a test setting, and so it kept showing that I was hosting, and I was like really confused by that. So, because I'm still not a Twitch expert, so I goof up and don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Like that time, apparently. So I'll recap again what I was going to do, because now I've said it twice to no one. I'm going to do a bunch of casting. I'm going to cast more figure parts like I did on the last session, and so I'm going to do everything in black again, and I'm going to start with the torso, the pelvis, and the Y part, that the hip joints. So I'm going to do these first, and once I have these in the tank, I'll get the next set ready. These will come out, they'll go into the oven to bake, to fully cure, and then I'll pour the other set, which will be the hands and feet and the sword blade. So I'll do all those things at once this is like done. That way I can kind of switch them out, and then once those are in the oven, I'll get ready to do the upper arms and upper legs and a head, and that'll give me a complete figure. Actually, I could do the armor also, and that'll all be in a different resin. So we'll do it in the 3 phases throughout the day. So I'm going to start with these guys, and I have to get them ready, so I'm going to give them a little dusting of mold release. I should have probably separated all these before I started, but whatever. A little scrap of flash there that I missed the first time. Okay, so we're gonna dust all these things, and we'll give them time to dry while we get the resin ready. I try to clean up any like loose flashing that I see, because that's scrap that can get, stuck in the resin. This will all be the same color, so if it does get embedded, it won't really matter. But it's just good to be mindful. Okay, so I'll start with these because they're easier. This is the old Man Ease 200. You're not priming a car, you're just putting a thin coat on. Because it won't really stick to this, you're just trying to minimize sticking and like help it really like come out later once it's cured. Should have my respirator on, because it's still a gross chemical, but I've got like a little fume hood I've built with a fan that like pulls it out toward the outside, so it helps a little bit. Improved ventilation would definitely be better. Okay, so these all need to dry. I'm gonna move this guy because he historically likes to break. His hair is very fragile. Right. These all need to dry, so we'll just keep them off to the side for a little while. And then I think it's going to be 30 for these two and 30 for this, so I'm going to divide this into two, so that makes it the math easy, because then I just divide that. I was doing a bunch of trimming yesterday, so there's like little bits of dust everywhere. So I'll use the bigger container for the part B, which is what I'm going to put my color in. So 30, 30. Let's see. We get the task 9, that's what we're going to use for these parts. Give it a shaky shake. Actually, every time I put my jacket on, I end up getting like too hot immediately, so I'm just going to take a moment here and do that. The desert's weird. It goes from being like a little chilly to way too hot in like an hour. I just used this stuff, so it shouldn't need like a ton of mixing. It's still pretty good on the consistency. Alright, so we'll just fill this up to 30. That's good. So I always try to, this stuff, the part B doesn't really seem to expire that fast, but the part A does. So if I can eliminate some of the material that's up near the lid or near the seam where like air can enter, it helps like to preserve the material a little bit longer. This stuff does react to air, for those of you who aren't familiar. And these gloves are, even though they're too big, so I definitely need to get a smaller size when I run through them. I like them better than the ones I was using. They're thicker, and they seem to I don't know, they just feel better, which is good when you have to wear gloves all day. So I'm going to add black, and I'm actually going to use a little tiny bit of white. Because the chest on the parts I did yesterday was very transparent. I mean, I probably could have just used more black, but the arms and legs have the materials different, so it's a little cloudy. It doesn't, you can't get like a water clear kind of look like you can with this stuff. So I want to try to make that match a little bit better, so I'm just trying to make this a little bit cloudy. And see how the results look. So just gotta like adequately scrape all the sides and stuff to make sure I get all the dye. Scrape the bottom. And it like sticks to the front of the tool, so I always try to whisk it against the edge here to try to get it all. Because the dye goes a long way. I always want to try to use it if I can. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of black. I'm gonna get a little bit heavier than I did the other day, because I used like just a tiny amount, and it looked cool, like this like smoky, transparent color, but it was not quite as dark as I would have liked. So, and this is like paint. Once you like mix it, you can't unmix it. So it's better to like start with a little bit and then add it as you, so like try to match the color you're looking for. Because like once you put it in, you can't, no matter how much you add of like white or add more resin, it's never gonna like get light enough again. So you always want to err on the side of caution with adding colored dye. Right, that's a little closer to like the way the arms and legs look on the previous casts. So I think this will look a little bit better. That's part of the fun, is like you kind of, it's like you're kind of like sketching, you know, kind of what it's gonna look like, but you don't know exactly what it's gonna look like. So that little bit of variation makes it fun, because you're always like a little surprised when you see the final product, which is cool. That's part of what's fun about making art, is you don't always know, you know, what it's gonna look like at the end. Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna prime the air compressor. Get this stuff all set up so it's ready to go. Okay, so this stuff is good enough right now, so I'm gonna set this aside. I want to get all this stuff ready. It should be dry enough now. Just double checking it for like loose flash from the last time, like plastic residue. Okay, good. So these pegs, I probably wouldn't do these again. They are a little harder to get to seat when you put the halves back together like this than I had expected. So it's like a live and learn moment. It's like they're good because they keep it from moving, but they're not always seated quite right. So like right now they're giving me a little bit of grief. So let me see if I can get these guys in here. I can like run my hand over it and feel if they're like out of place. No, it all feels good this time. Because last time it was, they were, a couple of them were like squished, so then there was like a little bit of a gap, which allowed resin to flow into that and create this like, it wasn't a problem, it just created like a little bit of excess flash that I could have done without. Now the other ones I'll use these like smaller bumps, which I do with just like hot glue, and they all seat much easier because they can kind of self-find each other by just pushing the mold together. And then I just make sure this thing is like up high enough. And that's good to go. This is the tricky one. I'll redo this mold in the future when I feel it's necessary. So this one I gotta fight with it a little bit. But it's been okay so far, like with the result. I basically have to like align these pegs before I like fully seat the halves. But like once they're in, they kind of guide the mold halves together. So it's kind of it's not a win-win, but it's like, you know, it could be a lot harder, but it turned out okay. It's just not optimal. Like it works fine, it's just not like the easiest way to do it. That's where I'm at with some stuff. It's like, it works, but it's not like the most efficient way. But I learn as I go, so it doesn't bother me. So I can learn and not get set back too much. That's like that is a win-win. It always feels like there's not enough resin, but there usually is. So I get like nervous and I add more, and then I end up having too much, and it's like a whole thing. So I forgot to put this on the other day, and I'm gonna make sure I put it on this time because I don't want to breathe in the resin vapors too much. The part B is like less. I mean, it's still toxic, but it's less toxic than the part A. So I'll usually do my color mixing and stuff first, and then I'll switch and put all my gear on. Okay. Let's see. Oh, give me a second, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to be a little bit muffled, so I got a little indicator here that's going to like tell you that I'm wearing a respirator. This is like a heads up in case I sound a little weird. Okay, so we're going to do these guys first. We'll do it in like descending order of priority. So we'll do it like this, right to left. So that way if we run out down here, the color of this one is like less critical because you don't really see it once you put the figure together. Let's see, so I need injection syringe, I need a cleaning thing for that, I need a stir, the mix the resin, this is to scrape it out of the container. I always gotta like, I have this pre-flight I have to do. Hey, what's up, Cap? I have this pre-flight I have to do before I like mix resin. That's cool, man. Thanks for stopping by anyway. Yeah, I'll be here. So get ready to clean that. I need these little pliers I use. I don't need this, I don't think. I try to like make sure I have everything first because once I start mixing it, like time gets really short, so I have to, you know, the closer at hand things are, the better. Gotta go to bed soon and get up early. That's you know, it's a good reason to jump off, so I can't fault you there. Okay, so we'll get ready, and yeah, the other part's right in front of me. We'll give this a shake. this part tends to crystallize around the top, so I try to keep the top cleaner, and then I open it like over my trash can so that I don't have like bits falling inside. This is the part that reacts with air, just from like just sitting, it'll like start to crystallize on its own. Okay, so I need 30 of this. Clean up our fingers real quick. This is just alcohol, even though it's all like weird looking. It's just from lots of reuse. I got another gross looking bottle over here, but I'll use them a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna put these both into here. We'll do this guy first. He's a little thicker. There's a couple streaks. There's a little bit of streaking where it looks like maybe I missed some of the dye. So I'll give it a quick stir before I mix the other part in here. Sometimes with these like really dark dyes like black, you can't really see everything. You kind of have to trust that you got it all. I'm gonna clean these off real quick. So, because if you touch them together with like the other part, it'll start to like, it'll start the chemical reaction, and you don't want it to do it any earlier than you want it to start. Otherwise, like, you know, you could lose a critical minute or two, and you gotta actually cast it. Sorry, this is just like part of the process. I don't think you guys can hear that compressor, but if you can, sorry, it's just, when it gets a little low, it kicks back on, and I think it has like a slight leak, so it gets a little, like, needy. I'm gonna just wipe this off, this is good. Alright, let's see, so I think we're square, so I'm gonna mix these guys together. And I've got like a 5-minute work time, which should be enough. It's usually enough. I'll just scrape this off. It's tough to get everything out in the first pass. Usually you have to do this and then run by it again. I'm always trying to like minimize waste, so you know, it's like willing to make these little workflow compromises just to try to utilize my material the best I can. This is also alcohol, it's just very dirty. Okay. That's done. That's done. Mix this up real quick. Get the sides and the bottom. You gotta fold it in, David. Fold it in. Get the corners. Get the sides. They get it looking, you know, consistent. That looks pretty good. Okay. Give this guy a quick wipe down so we can forget about him. Okay. We'll start our injection thing. Put that down to the side. Alright, what is that, 20? Yeah, just about. Try to get the air bubbles out of there. Don't introduce anything. Just like hold this kind of snug, not squeezing it, it's just like even pressure. See it like comes up on the side here? I think this silicone is just too soft. So it like, yeah. Okay. So it's, I don't know, it's not like rigid enough. But it gets the job done for now. I mean, eventually this mold will break down and I'll just make another one. No worries, Cap. It's cool. It's all part of the process. Sometimes it's a little messy, and that's okay. Do the same thing. I think I might just be injecting it too fast too. Because I think about like the time and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, gotta do it. But I should have plenty here. We'll do the same thing. Just inject it slow. Once it fills the reservoir, it's usually good. Alright, looks like we'll have enough for this too. So, looks like my math was right. I always get a little worried that I'm like, not, you know, not mixed up enough. But, you know, the more you do it, the more you kind of like figure it out. Nostalgia out of context. What's up, Tacitus? This video's fill that reservoir. That reservoir, and that reservoir, and that reservoir. No. Yep, there's a bunch in the back. Something's weird with this mold. I don't know why it's doing this. It's like, kind of leaking out the back. Alright, I'm gonna put this all in the tank. See if I can scrape some of this out to save it. The less of this I gotta try to clean out of this container, the better. Alright, that's good. So that's gonna go in the tank too. Everything's in. Gotta clean my tools here real quick. Well, especially this one. If I let it cure inside, then this string is worthless. So I always gotta talk to this one first. We'll do this. Okay, that's 16 now. So to turn off the compressor. Oops, making a mess. I think this is, what was that? I always forget the cure time on this stuff. 60 minutes, so it's got to sit in there for an hour. So 3:45 I can take it out. So I guess we'll be doing something else in the meantime. Sorry y'all, cleaning is part of the work. What's up, Cap? Is there? I was gonna say it. I should hope not. I got it like all it's running is OBS and the browser, and I'm managing everything from like another device. Trying to be like more efficient, you know. Alright, I can take out this mask here in a second. Okay. That makes sense. But if you do see a delay, definitely let me know so I can like try to address it. So I think it's running at a pretty good bit right now. Okay. Yeah, so it turned out the second camera was what was causing the massive delay, so that had to go. At least until I get a better one. No, it was so it was a like a IP camera, so it was sending the images to like a browser you can overlay in OBS, and I was like, I realized that was what was causing the problem. So because as soon as I took it off, I removed that, you know, from the view, it like returned to like a more normal speed. So I was like, oh well, I guess that's just out then. So I mean, I'll keep my like eyes open for another camera that I can use that's maybe better, but for now I'm just gonna, you know, keep it the way it is here and just focus on like the one big view and try to make that as like good as I can. Yeah, I just don't have another camera that I can connect as a webcam, you know? I have like, I'm using my phone as the main camera now, and then I used another, I tried to find a way I could connect, it's like a crappy Android phone, and I thought I could find a way to connect it over USB to my computer, and it just doesn't work. So the only way I could do it was as like an IP camera, and it caused it to be like super slow. I was just like, well, it's better if I just take it off then than try to struggle with, you know, finding a way to make it work and not have like massive frame dropping. So these needs a second cleaning. These are good. This is probably okay. I just gotta clean up a couple more things and I'll be done. These little containers, I gotta clean these guys out. And then I'll be done. I can move on to something else. So I'll probably do a little bit of sculpting for like a half hour or so, and then come back to start getting the other molds ready to cast. So that as soon as that 60 minutes is up, I can like swap everything. So I can just put it in there, whatever. Don't matter none. So how are you all doing today on this lovely Wednesday, or well, I guess Wednesday, is it Thursday for you, Cap? Because you're what, 6 hours? No, it should still be Wednesday. That's cool, man. No problem. Just making conversation, yo. Same as the seeing your stream. It's weird how some people are at like tomorrow and we're still at today. Well, maybe not quite yet, but yeah, my partner used to do she used to do like data collection in Rwanda for one of her school projects. School project sounds so trivial. A thesis, rather, for her master's degree. There was like, I think, a 6-hour time difference for us to like talk. So that was like a little difficult at times. But we made it work. There's some gunk there that needs to come off. Where's my knife at? There it is. Oh, this must be silicone. I thought it was half set resin. Well, that's good. It's less of a mess to remove. Alright, so we're done with that. Done with these. The other thing fell on the ground, which is awesome. Goes there. These get put away. This gets put away. This gets put away. This gets put away. I'm trying to like be better about cleaning up my space in between like steps. I have a habit of like this all getting very cluttered. Okay, so that's all done. I'm gonna do a little bit of sculpting because I've got what, 45 minutes to burn. I had to put some water in this cup and I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm going to use Apoxie Sculpt, and I hope I can turn that respirator thing off. There we go. I'm going to do more filling in. I've broken so many of the hairs off of this thing. Should probably do half of that. Where's the needle towel? Running out of like scrap towels. About the same size. Close enough. Close enough. that makes this so it's consistent. And then I'm really just going to be filling in a lot of space. I'll probably approach this differently next time. But for not knowing what I was doing the first time, it's like coming along. Let's see, what else do I need? That one. Okay. So I'm really just going to be kind of filling this stuff in. And I'm using the yellow because it's just easier to see kind of like the volume and like where it is. So I'm gonna have to do like a lot of sculpting on this once the face shape is all like filled in. It's gonna be a lot of layers. Just like gaps like that, where I just kind of jam it down into this little space. I guess there's super glue there, whatever. Very carefully, that's how. How I'll be molding the hair. I mean, it's gonna end up being done in a similar way as the other stuff, as far as like, if you mean like the orientation or whatever, like I don't know yet. It really kind of depends what the final sculpt looks like. I'm still kind of far away from that. It's like a I'll worry about that when I get to it thing, because I'm still far enough away that it doesn't, you know, it's probably going to be upside down. No, it won't be upside down. All I was really thinking about was, so far, is that it'll be filled from the top here, so that all the resin gets pulled down into the little spines. I mean, they're not going to be like this. It's going to be a lot different on the final sculpt. But I think like it'll just be filled from the top, and I'll just have to do like sanding and whatnot to hide the injection points. I'm not sure how venting is going to go. That's a bit of an unknown. Can I take it off, the hair? Yeah. It does come off. I have only taken it off once because these strands are still too fragile. I've already broken like 4 of them just from laying it down. There's like 2 broken there. There's a couple that broke under there. There's one that broke here. So it's still really fragile. I mean, there's no structure to it, so it's like, it's just the clay itself, and the clay is not strong. So I tried putting some clay underneath. There's like some that I used to try to build up the underside, and it's difficult to get it to stick to stuff. You have to kind of put pressure on it. It's like I'm actually turning the head so I can get to the back. So it's kind of hard to spread it in small areas. So that's why I thought I would try the Apoxie Sculpt. Because I can almost liquefy it, at least in the first like half hour, 45 minutes. I'm gonna end up sculpting like more strands on top of this, because I'll have to build out like the texture and the individual, to make it look like there's individual strands, like smaller strands, like more like natural hair. But I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that quite yet. This is all a learning process, so there's a lot of I don't knows right now, and like I'll figure that out when I get to it, hopefully. Yeah, sure, man. I will be here. I'm trying to like not drop this thing while I'm sculpting it, because all these things will just break right off. There's a little too much water there. I don't know if I can absorb some of that. Without breaking anything. That's probably good. Yeah, some of this will probably have to approach from the bottom once there's like more of a support structure. So if I forget to keep this like elevated so it's in the camera. Try to be mindful of that while also keeping it so I can see it. So like precarious. I was like, oh, I'm gonna break it. So you're gonna like scrape that off and get it in there without snapping off these freaking strands. Probably should have done this as I like put the strands on. I should have probably put a like row of strands on, filled it in with Apoxie Sculpt, and then gone over that with like another layer instead of trying to go like, you know, up under it. But you know, we're just like learning as we go and making mistakes. That's just how we do. Tangerine? What are you talking about? So I'm going to eat now slowly, and then I'll go to bed as I watch you. You got to do it seductively. I mean, I can't, you know, no one can see it, but you'll know. You'll know you're doing it. And you just have to project that to the world. Of course it's seductive. That's how it's fun. You only eat fruit seductively. Didn't anyone tell you? There's no other way to eat it. It's going to be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said. Is it? I don't know. I also should have put this thing on, this head on like a post or something. I'm gonna have to make like a body that I can put the head in that doesn't have like arms or anything. It's just like a handle, so I can hold it while I'm sculpting it. Because I feel like I'm gonna drop this thing on its face like any moment and break off like half the hair. It's loose. It is. I don't make the rules. They just exist. Fruit is only eaten seductively. Even at work. Even in front of your parents. You gotta make it weird. Like, I'm sorry, Mom. That's just how you eat fruit. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Just gotta look away. Let's see. That's gonna have to go in there. This is starting to get a little too firm. It's so firm. Good. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just trying to figure it out. Trying to figure it out. Alright. Tasty meat. Well, tasty fruit, I guess. Or is it juicy fruit? Coffee's all gone. Sadness. Alright, I gotta mix up some more Apoxie Sculpt. Probably do a little more than that. That's too small. Too small. She also said that, much to my disappointment. Yes, only kid jokes, only childish humor. Only childish humor. Get top off that tangerine with some spicy Pringles. You're a madman. Breaking all the rules of nature. And go to bed! I was up too late last night. I've been trying to go to bed by like 12:30, and I was doing a pretty good job of it until last night. I was playing the magical cards with some local boys, and you know, it went much longer than I had planned. So I need to learn to say no. No, it's my bedtime. I guess I just gotta keep building up this, like, underside. I don't really even know what I'm doing here. I have, like, an idea of what I'm doing, but I don't have a plan, if that makes any sense. Like, well, I have basically, like, this scaffolding of hair. So I can, like, build that up. I'm gonna end up covering so much of this, it's kind of annoying. I guess the ends, you know, the spiky ends is really all that matters. The rest of it's just gonna be like a mass. And then I can sculpt, like, when I say sculpt, I mean like carve. Because this stuff is gonna be rock hard when it's once I'm done putting it on. Rock hard. Not young rock hard, just rock hard. Old rock hard. Sure. Give me the back of your feeds. You'd prefer to be gone. I see. But that's what I've got in place of a face cam. Because I'm not doing a face cam. My partner thinks it's adorable. So who do I believe? The lady I share a room with, share a bed with, or Cap? Riddle me that, Batman. My little memojis, so you can get an idea of what I look like, you know? Yeah, I don't think I need a face cam either. I also don't, I just don't want to do it, you know? I don't think it adds anything. I know people are like, it's your brand, you're the brand. Like, no, bro, no. The things I'm making, that's the brand. I'm just a monkey who pushes clay around, you know? So nobody needs to say I'm just an ape. I'm an ape that pushes clay around to, like, you know, do the WSB lingo. I don't know. I was just saying random things, so who knows? Oh, god damn it! Well, that was inevitable. I'll just add it to the pile, I guess. You watch channels all the time, mostly on YouTube, with like makers and crafting without face cams. Yeah, nobody does face cams on YouTube. I guess some do. But yeah, they're not like popular. They're not like a thing people feel like they need to do. But YouTube's like a different, I don't know, experience, like a different crowd. You know, people are coming for like the content. They're looking for like videos on that topic. They don't necessarily care who makes them. I guess I could put up a little poll or something. It's like, hey, you know, what do you think of the animated memoji? Do you hate it, like it, don't care about it? You know, gather some additional backs of feeds. See what the greater Twitchiverse thinks. So annoyed I broke more of those strands off. Ah! Let me know in the comments below. Yeah. I mean, because these, I am putting these on YouTube, so there is like, I don't know if it matters in the context of this like topic. I guess we'll see. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that submission button, subscription button. Yeah. I feel like I would have to like make another clip to like add on to the end or something. I guess I could add it to the I made these like bumper graphics that go at the beginning and end now, and they've got little like sound clips to play. So I could probably just add it to that, a generic like, hey, you know, follow, subscribe, whatever. So I don't have to say it. The thing is, no one's gonna watch these videos to the end. So like, putting it, like me saying it at the end for like YouTube, like no one's gonna get that far. Like I've looked at my watch numbers. They're not, no one's watching this video to the end. And I guess I'm fine with that, you know? If they like get some enjoyment out of it, or it gets them to like follow me on a different platform that's more interactive than YouTube, then I guess that's a win. Know what I mean? Saying it does help 1 minute in. Yeah, I mean I added these like timer things here as like a repeating, like, hey, you can, you know, I have like an email list you can subscribe to, or like, you know, check out my Instagram or whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, don't listen to me. I'm just trying stuff out, see what happens. Never felt the need to do that. I wasn't trying to get big, you know. I mean, it, you know, it makes sense. I don't think I'm trying to get big, like, in the sense that, you know, I'm trying to get like 50,000 followers or whatever. I don't think the stuff I'm doing has that kind of audience. You know what I mean? But I mean, what do I know? Like, there are some artists that do have audiences like that, so I guess it's possible. My cartoony face plastered all over cereal boxes. A brand coordinator. Yeah, let me get out my infinite budget, and we'll get on that. I am my brand coordinator. I don't even have a mod for this thing. Come on, who's got money for a brand coordinator? Not this guy. Oh fuck! Well, I should have expected that, so I can't really be too surprised. Yeah, I mean that's like literally the memoji off like my phone, you know, so I don't think I could even use that in like a brand sense, because Apple will be like, hey, that's mine. Be like, no, but it's me. You made it so I could put me on there. And they're like, no, we still own it. We own the cartoony likeness of you. Get wrecked. I mean, I guess I could just draw new ones, but, you know, I don't have infinite time or money to do these things. It's not quite enough. What time is it? 3:28. 15 more minutes ish. And I can probably take those molds out and then start doing the other one. So I'll finish this little glob of Apoxie Sculpt, and then I'll get ready to do the next batch of casts. Oh, my back. I keep talking so much. I'm just here for the toys, bro. Shut your face. Yeah, I feel that. I won't take that personally. You don't want to hear the sound of my beautiful voice unimaginable. Almost dropped it. We're definitely going to put a holdy body thing on the list of things to make. See right there, subscribe to my email list. So when I'm gonna, like, you know, make something cool or do like another event of some type. So I've been doing these like creative discussion things with like other artists, which are pretty cool. So like I can send out an email about those. With like a time and a date and all that junk. Yeah, strange sense of humor that usually works. Condescending but serious. Yeah, no, it's cool. I get it. I get it. Oh my god, these fucking hairs. Son of a bitch. It's like 4 today already. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just silently cry to myself. I guess you gotta do it bad once before you figure out how to do it better. But that's why it's an opt-in list, you know? You don't get the emails unless you ask for them. And it's even the semi-frequent, meaning like, you know, it's not going to be regular. If you get like 2 emails a year from me, that'd be it. Oh my god. Stop. It's mostly like, you know, not everyone's on Instagram, so there's like, they're not going to follow me there if they don't have an account or don't want an account. And, you know, everyone's got an email, so like, maybe you don't want to do social media, but you still want to like know about stuff. So email is a good solution for that. It's like not cool, but it gets the job done. No, I appreciate you coming to talk, Cap. It's cool. I like the interaction. Yeah, I tried to be like, you know, like casual about that email thing. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna like bug you, you know. It's only like every now and then, you know, because I gotta like do it all manually, so it's not like you're gonna be getting emails like every week or whatever. Because like I'm on some lists. I've got like designer newsletters that I get, and they'll have like you know, links to articles about like, you know, different, you know, web stuff, or like, you know, reviewing software tools and things like that. And it's like, I kind of like them because I tag them in Gmail, and then like when I want to look that stuff up, you know, I can like just go look at that tag, and I don't have to like bookmark it in my browser or whatever. It kind of gives me like a place I can search for stuff and store things. So I actually like email. I think it's like a decent... Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't worry too much about that, if it's gonna get flagged as spam or not. So, I mean, I obviously would try not to make it look like spam, because, you know, that kind of defeats the purpose. It's mostly like, you know, I'm trying to just use the tools that are available to like help me with like, you know, managing stuff. And because like I'm mostly on Instagram, you know, and like you're not on there, so when I like I'm gonna like release stuff, like I'm not saying that, you know, you'd be like in the market to buy anything, but not saying you wouldn't, just, you know, just not making that assumption. That like you wouldn't necessarily know, because like maybe I wouldn't talk about it on stream. It might just be like, you know, on my Instagram or whatever, or Facebook or something, and it just may not be something you would see. But if like you have the email, then you would get like a, you know, hey, these are gonna like come out on this day or whatever. And because it's also like a way that I could send like coupon codes and stuff to people who signed up, so that maybe they can get a discount, instead of people who are just like seeing it on Instagram or whatever social media, you know. So it's kind of like, it also lets me kind of incentivize people who sign up for like, oh, you'll get like a discount, or like if I'm going to give something away, like you'll know about it first, and stuff like that. So I try to like, the idea is to make it like, you know, something helpful, not just like noise. Yeah, I've definitely got like 3 email accounts, at least. You get so many spam emails, you don't even check it. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I have like I have a spam account that when I think it's like suspicious or junky, I'll like use that. But I still use my regular Gmail, my personal one, for like a lot of stuff. And if it's like too spammy, then I just like flag it and let Google worry about it. Or set up a filter or whatever, if I can't unsubscribe from it. What a mess. What a mess. I gotta get some of it there. I feel like I'm gonna end up snapping all these strands off before I'm like done filling this stuff in. At least I'll have like the general shape made. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for anyway out of this, is just to get like, trying to just treat these kind of like a scaffold. Like it looked decent, you know, with just like the raw strands, but that's like not, I can't mold that. It's not gonna be something I can reproduce. So I was inevitably gonna have to do all this anyway. You can come here anyway and ask me or tell me. Yeah. Answer the question, does it help you out if people sub to it? That they may have come off as slightly aggressive. I mean, it does help me if people subscribe to the email thing. Like it's brand new. I just set it up like a couple weeks ago. Because like it's also something that kind of helps me like get an idea of like how interested people are. Because it's, you know, you can just like something on social media and it doesn't really, you don't really care about it. You're just like, yeah, sure, like whatever, who cares. But if you like sign up for like an email list or something, or you subscribe to like, you know, my Twitch channel or to YouTube or whatever, then like you're a little bit more interested, you know. So it's really just to help me know like, oh, if you want emails, like you're definitely interested, and that's like it just kind of helps me with you know, communicating with the people who want to hear from me. It's so like hard with like social media, because like you're always fighting the algorithm, and so I thought that like, well, you know, maybe if like I can offer something for people who like don't want to have to wade through social media and deal with all that, or be like, oh, did I miss a thing? Oh, I was like, you know, away from Instagram, so I didn't know this thing was coming out or whatever, and now I missed it. So I'm trying to also just be like transparent with people about, you know, what's going on. So if they want to know, they've got like a little bit of priority. You know, I would send out an email first before I put it on Instagram, so that those people get like, you know, first dibs essentially. Because they cared enough to like, you know, want to know about it. So I try to put them ahead a little bit. No, that's cool. You know, the feedback is good. Knowing what people think and, you know, getting input. It's all valuable stuff. Sorry if I sound defensive. I don't mean to come off that way. I think because I'm just like working and talking, I'm just like circling back to stuff that I've said, and, you know, not really thinking about that like, oh, you said that already, you don't need to keep repeating it. So apologies there. I can tend to ramble sometimes, especially when I'm like, you know, working on something like this, because my mind's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's on autopilot, 'cause that's not true, but there's probably a degree of autopilotness though. I hope that doesn't sound impersonal. I don't really know how else to convey that. Alright, I guess that'll be good for now. Nah, I think I was just over-explaining it, you know, because it's just what I do sometimes. I have a tendency of over-explaining. You could just ask my partner, she would be like, oh yeah, that's nothing new. Okay, I think we're at quarter till, so that's about an hour. So I'm gonna take this stuff out of the pressure tank, and I think I can put it in the oven. It should be cured enough. And then I'll start on the next batch of casts. See what we got here. That's just the overflow. It still looks like it's a little soft. So I'm gonna put the stuff in the oven. That should finish curing it. So I'm gonna step away for a second and do that. And I always say step away because I take out my headphones and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna step away, but I'm like, I can still just talk and it's fine, you know. Yeah, I don't even have a tinkering room, Cap. I literally have like 8 feet of space in one bedroom. It is quite small. Just forward just a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna bake that stuff for like 12 minutes and that should be... Then it's gotta like cool to room temperature, and so it'll be a little while before I can actually take it out. Let's see, so we got these 3 molds we're gonna do now. This is a sword blade. I should probably actually cut this mold open. This thing's like kind of a pain to get out of here. Thinking about redecorating your room. Add a small workbench. Yeah, I kind of need like a workspace of some kind, even if it's just like a drawing desk. I really need to start, well, get back into drawing. I've like gotten away from it, and there's like a lot of stuff I want to do for this, so I got like a good reason to start drawing. It's just like making the time. Which sounds like an excuse, but it's still difficult to like find time for everything in your life, you know? Maybe need a new hobby and start painting models or something. Yeah, I mean it's therapeutic, you know, like having that kind of zen thing where you kind of I don't want to say like empty your mind, but you know, you can kind of just get lost in what you're doing, and it's nice. 30. It should be about 30 for the 3 of these. So we're going to do 15 and 15. And should have a smaller vessel here I can paint it or put it in. Yeah, we'll use that as the mixing vessel. This will be the same stuff. It's going to be task 9 again. I won't be able to match the color exactly, but I just want to get like kind of close. So 15 and 15. I gotta try not to reach in front of the camera. I always forget and like end up doing it anyway. I'll put my dumb head in front of it. These are 10 apiece, right? should be 10. Mask. So we'll do the same thing. A little bit of black, a little bit of white, a little bit of black. Yeah, hit that bud. I gotta be better myself tonight about going down at like a reasonable time. Just mix in a little bit of white. That's probably too much. Just realized I was wearing new gloves. Yeah, I had used up all my old ones, and my partner found these online and bought them for me. They're definitely better quality than the ones I was using. They're thicker, like they're a little too big, but they're thicker, so I think they have like just better protection overall. And they don't tear as easily, which is nice. The other ones were very thin. Hey, Miss Panda, how's it going? It's been a little while. Need this guy. Welcome to the new and improved mess. Now with more clutter. The resin I use for the arms and legs has like this. It's like cloudy, so it has this like really slight. It almost looks like bluish when I use just black in it. So I'm trying to see if I can kind of mimic that in this, get a little bit more uniform look to the color. Because this stuff with just black, you get like a kind of a neutral, smoky black. You're promoted at work. That's great. Got 3 free days. Yeah, I was hoping this angle would be like more, I don't want to say fun, but just like more visually interesting, Cap. That, you know, there's more to look at than just like the dumb mat. And I have like other stuff. I was thinking I could like rotate some of these guys around every couple of months. You know, like freshen it up instead of it just being the same thing all the time. If I like got some new pieces, I could like put them out so that people can see other artists' work and less eye strain. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think you can like, it's like a little clearer what I'm doing too, you know, because like from the top it's a little obscured, even though it's like not, but just the angle, you can't always tell what you're looking at. Because I mean, for the longest time I wanted something that was like more of a, like you're looking over my shoulder as opposed to, you know, that, I don't want to call it like clinical view where you're kind of observing from above. Alright, let's see, so I think I gotta keep that. I need that. I need that. I need that. I just gotta start my pre-flight. Injector, clean that, mix, scrape. I'm gonna need one for the yeah, to clean the injector. It's actually a little cruddy, so we'll just get a new one. What up, Sabretooth? How's it going? Don't mind me just dropping knives. I got some other molds cooking. Trying to see if I gotta build like a better workflow where I'm kind of always got something going, especially because I gotta start getting these guys made if I expect to have anything to like release. So we'll do them in right to left order again. See, I still don't trust my estimations on resin amounts. I feel like I'm gonna come up short here. I gotta put my respirator back on. Dealing, had a long week this week. Oh, if it's not even over, it's only like halfway through. Okay, so respirator's on. This 2 small snowstorms, regular issue, 2 supplements, and a full redesign to launch. Next few days are gonna suck. Ugh. I'm sorry to hear that, Sabretooth. That's rough. What is this? And 6. I was supposed to be 30 with just these, so I'm actually under. I'm under a little bit. I gotta add like another 5 to each of these. I knew my math was off. Have to give that a start. Well, I dropped this thing as I was picking it up. Glad it wasn't open. Jesus. It was a huge mess. Sounds good, Cap. Thanks for stopping by. Hanging out as usual. See ya. I said I'll make this up real quick. Yeah, somehow I guess I was looking at the wrong things when I calculated the amount. So hopefully it seems a bit better, more correct now. Alright. So we're going to go with this into this. So we'll do this hoist. Always trying to minimize waste. Right. Can't eliminate it, but if I can reduce it, I'll take that. Okay, so done with that. I'm gonna have to adjust those timers. I've been seeing the messages a little too often. I think they're at like 30 minutes, which I thought would be enough, but maybe not. Okay, ready to start, and then we'll do the thing. Yeah, 30 seemed okay, like, it was not often enough to be really annoying. Maybe I'm just noticing them, because they're new. Alright, that's that. Sorry, getting like tripped up. What do you think? I think the default was like 15. I was like, that seems too often. But I guess it accounts for like people coming in and out of the stream a lot too. Because there's a lot of that on Twitch. People watch for like a minute or two and then leave. Yeah, but I feel like I don't have that much turn. If I get like a couple of strays in an hour, that's like a lot. And if they're gonna like come and go within an hour or less, then whatever, you know. They weren't going to be interested anyway. Okay, so let's try this. See if we got enough juice. I gotta try to be better about like monitoring how much I'm using, so I can get a more accurate estimate. So that's 5 for both of those. That's a lot less than I thought. Um, 10, 12? 12 there. So 5 and 12. Seems like I got to pull out another mold here to try to use some of this. So, 5, 12. I don't even know what that was. Probably 5. Let's see. I'm gonna try to. I feel like I've been kind of out of the loop on that right now. There's been some talk. Sorry, 5. I feel like I missed a little bit. I have to check out that Google Doc and see what's in it. I've been trying to keep my Friday nights open now for that. Even if I'm just gonna, like, you know, spectate and watch the live. Alright, this is what, 12. Hopefully this doesn't leak. Okay then. Still got some left over, which I'm not going to worry about. Yeah. Crumbs had asked me to do, if I was interested in maybe taking on hosting one of them, because I was using YouTube Live a lot to test my setup like before I got back on Twitch, and I had mentioned it to him, so that's like a possibility. I haven't worked out the logistics of it yet. Get all this crap in a tank here. Oh shit, I forgot to put that in. Fuck. Oh well. What were you saying? Gotta look to something like pricing. I'm not sure how far enough in. Yeah. I feel the same way. I only have the one release, so I feel like I feel like I don't have the most valuable input as far as like actually selling toys. You know, I've like
worked in design and sold stuff online for years. But I don't know how much that translates to you know, to toys, and especially like in the community. So I feel like I talk out of my butt a lot. We're like, you know, I've got thoughts, but I don't know like how useful or accurate they are. Um, so that's something I kind of struggle with in regard to the discussions. I mean, I like participating in them. Like, a lot of those guys have sold way more than I have. So, you know, I don't think I am necessarily in a place to, like, have contradicting views. I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, I like to keep participating in it. What am I doing? Kind of trying to blow in this thing when I got a mask on. Like an idiot. I don't know, but like, you know, we both like worked in design and marketing and stuff, so I feel like there's like knowledge that we have that maybe it's not indie toys, but I mean like, you know, marketing is marketing, selling is selling, design is design. Like there's still overlap. Just because like, you know, a product is a different product, I don't think the rules for selling or marketing that product are really that different. But that's just my thoughts. Let's see, that's clean, that's clean, that's clean. Happy hairs. I need a beer, so I'm gonna finish cleaning this stuff up, and then I'm gonna go get myself a drink. Let's see, I really need to like, pour these things off. These things are a mess. Design's more service oriented. Yeah, I guess in the context of like if you work for a company, then like the design and marketing is like a service to the business side. I mean, that's a whole like discussion about, you know, being underappreciated and, you know, marketing doesn't respect design or whatever. But yeah, I could see the argument there that it's not exactly the same. But like, you know, I still think I still think there's overlap. Nice, Tacitus. Yeah, I was just thinking about it now, and I'm like, I could really use a drink. Just like something cool and happy. So I gotta go see what we got in the fridge once I finish this. And the other casts, I've done baking, so I'm just waiting for them to cool down before I can pull them. Actually, I can take this mask off.
Ugh. That's better. I don't mind the respirator, but, you know, the moment I can take it off, it's off. So let's see, I gotta clean these other things. This is a mess. Uh, so I'm actually in another digital art. I guess it's mostly digital art. That's just the people that are in it. A Discord, and so I brought up today. I don't know if anybody's watching from it now, but I like posed the question. I was like, so let's talk about marketing, and was asking some of the questions that like have been coming up about social media and marketing and engagement and all that, and like it sounds like most of the people that responded anyway so far feel like they're kind of in the same boat where like they don't really know what to do and are looking for they're interested in like suggestions or advice or whatever, and there's some it seems like there's a mix of like it's mostly commission stuff people are doing, so it's like they're not necessarily trying to sell a product in the way that like I'm making figures and trying to sell those. The designers tend to charge based on hourly wage rate, while toys are priced more as a product. Yeah, I mean that's true. All the designers should be tacking on value profit margin. Yeah, I mean you're still creating a product. It's just like you're not creating always the direct end product. Sometimes it's it's a part of the product or part of the experience of that product. But design is definitely a product in a sense. I don't think I know enough about that topic to say a whole lot. Sadly, my career in the design world has been pretty limited. Mostly just like small startups and a couple like corporate, like boring corporate companies. So I never got to work on anything like really amazing or cutting edge. I always just worked on pretty mediocre stuff. And the startups I did work for pretty much all went under, so none of that ever went to market. So I don't know how much I really learned or have to offer. I feel like I'm faking it a lot. I mean, really, as much as I call myself a designer and an artist, really, I'm a retail seller more than anything else. That's what I've done the most via Amazon. So I feel like a hypocrite sometimes that I, talk this stuff, but I don't have like all this great experience to, pull from. I've like read a lot over the years and tried to pay attention to stuff, but I don't think I'm some kind of expert. Maybe I'm undervaluing myself in that way, but I also don't want to misrepresent myself either. I cleaned that one already. This stuff's an hour. 4:18, let's say 4:15. So then 5:15 I can pull it. So before the stream's over, I can pull that and put it in the oven. I need to put this sculpt in the oven too to bake this epoxy sculpt. Need to actually wash these things out. Plenty of people with experience and still don't know their head from their ass. I believe that. I a buddy of mine is a really good designer. I've mentioned him a few times on my Instagram, and he's told me in the past, he's like, you know, you're better than half the designers out there, and I wanna like, you know, believe him, and I think maybe it's just my own self-doubt that keeps me from believing him. But I had a really hard time, well, like landing jobs, so I have a lot of like personal doubt when it comes to, you know, my ability. That's kind of how I ended up doing Amazon for so long, is because I couldn't get a job as a designer. No meltdowns yet. I'm only putting it in at, I think, 150 or 200, so it's pretty low temp. And it's in for 10 to 15 minutes, and it's all platinum silicone, so it's like good for what, up to 400 or 500 degrees or something like that. So I haven't experienced any negative effects on the mold or the casts. The casts come out, they're still a little soft. I think it's just when you heat them up, they warm up and soften. But when they cool back down, I think it just accelerates the reaction. So it's like, okay, as long as you don't take them out of the mold like too early, then they seem to cure like into their final hardness, solidity. Sorry, I'm like having a word fart meltdown. They reach their full, like, you know, rigidity much faster. Thanks, Tacitus. Yeah, it does, but I mean, whatever. I'm over it now. It's, you know, still just a thing that happened, or didn't happen, I guess, is more accurate. So it's like a thing that I'll always, you know, carry with me. Let me go grab those things out of the oven. Actually, I can bake this guy while I'm waiting. Alright, so I got all the molds off to the side. They're cooling. They're not like room temp yet. They're still too warm. Well, fart. That's yeah, I guess I can't do much at the moment. What time is it? 4:30. Because I'm really at a point where I'm like, I'm casting and I'm working on that. I guess I gotta work on these because I need to remold these things. I'm trying to get, you know, these casts made now. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna try to wrap up this hair sculpt and then work on that. Just getting like the cast done. So this, I'm trying to smooth out the surfaces using Apoxie Sculpt. I made these little sanding sticks recently, and they really help out. I just took, you know, high grit sandpaper. Well, coarse grit, sorry. I should be more specific. Actually, I can't feel anything with these. Chat lag, I'm sorry. Hopefully it's not on my end. I don't know. It's always such an unknown. I hate that I can't really control for that. I kind of have to just like deal with it. I did a lot of tests. It's hard to like know, you know, because unless you've got people you can like private stream to, which is you got to set up like a whole other account, and it's so dumb. I'm really surprised there's not like a better they're not quite as defined chest as here. He's on the back burner right now. I will work on him, but he's on hold at the moment. Because I realized that I was like working on too many different things at once, and I was starting to like lose my focus. So I'm trying to just be better about that. I mean, he's not like not gonna not get done. But you know, I have to prioritize like things so I can actually get something done, because I feel like I do all this work, but I don't actually have anything like I don't want to say meaningful, but you know, nothing finished. Just like lots and lots of in progress things. So I really need to work on having more things that are like in a more finished state. Don't mind me just scraping the crap out of my sandpaper. I found these really helpful for like, obviously for corners and edges and stuff. So if you're trying to do like tighter sculpt, not sculpt, sorry, like get smoother like edges and seams and stuff, I found it helpful. Actually, I just gotta take my glasses off. I can't look at this close up with them on. These also help with like trying to sand flat surfaces, because I've noticed every time I try to sand a flat surface with like handheld sandpaper, it always like ends up curving it. I don't know if that's just like the natural motion of like your arm, but it always ends up being not quite what I want. Or it's just like off. So like I can get into these little crevices with this, because I have like a bunch of different angles all sanded down on it. And then even here the sandpaper overlaps a little bit, so I can get into like real small corners and edges. It's just super glued onto a popsicle stick. I gotta make more of them at like different grits. I've only got these two right now. As far as this kind of refinement, I like working on a cast instead of trying to do this on one of the original parts, because all the original parts are that like soft plastic, and you can't sand that stuff to any like effective amount. it ends up just like curling and tearing. So I tend to make a mold and then cast that, and then I work on the cast instead. You can get like more control with it. You can sand a smooth surface, which you can't do with soft plastic. What did you say there, Sabertooth? Consider making yourself a draw table to get a nice flat sanding. Yeah, that would be helpful. I think that's like the next thing that I'll build is like a small like block I can clamp stuff down onto, or I can attach it to, and then it's like something where I could attach the thing to like a block. Think of like a guide on like a table saw, right? Where you have like the grit on the bottom, and then you have like a block you can move like along an arm or something, so that you don't have any tilt. I could see that being useful, especially for like, you know, non-organic surfaces where it's a lot of like clean surfaces and angles and things like that, where you need to be able to get a consistent flat surface, flat edge. This doesn't even want to get down into this crevice, into the crevasse. I also like the Apoxie Sculpt because you can kind of chip away at it with like a metal tool. I think that's why I'm not like married to a particular product as far as my sculpting medium. I just use whatever feels like it suits the purpose. I know everyone's in love with monster clay right now, but I don't know that it would bring anything that the materials I have aren't giving me. And it's like another thing I would have to learn how to use. Not that there's anything wrong with trying to, you know, bring on new tools and materials and stuff. It's like the Apoxie Sculpt, you know, now that I'm using it, I'm starting to kind of get a handle on how to use it. And, you know, I'm sure there's different ways you could use it than I'm doing it, but I'm treating it almost like body putty for a car, where you're like filling in small imperfections and then sanding it down and then adding more, you know, and like I'm trying to use it to clean up the surface and fill in small areas that are hard to reach with like any other things. I think it's really good for that. Because it's really durable. That face I carved into the head sculpt, that's almost entirely Apoxie Sculpt, of me like layering it on and then carving away at it with an X-Acto knife. I like it in the subtractive use instead of like additive. I still want to make myself a batch of wax to sculpt with. Yeah, I would definitely try it out and see like what you think. I have that dental wax that I've used. I've only used it as almost like a filler. I haven't sculpted with it yet, so that's on my list of things to try. Okay. It's beer o'clock. I'm gonna go grab a drink and be right back. So I'm gonna leave you with Claptrap while I'm gone. So I'll see you in a minute. Yo, what is up? Okay. Yeah, if you do use that wax, I'm interested to know what you think of it. I assume you're talking about the recipe that Kerf mentioned or posted. I think I saved the post so I could look at it later, but I don't know how soon I'm actually going to try to make something like that. I'm already pretty much like, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but I'm at capacity with various technologies I'm using. I'm not sure what else I could take on right now. Still trying to get a grip on just sculpting in general. I do want to use like a more clay-like material too, where I can kind of work in detail while it's soft. Because it's a lot easier to just like smooth the surface with something like a clay than it is to do it, you know, on a hard material like Apoxie Sculpt. Because you got to be able to get into all the crevices and stuff with, you know, sandpaper or whatever, which can be a problem. Like this elbow. I've also worn all the grit off the tip here, so I'm gonna have to trim that back probably. What are you saying there? I think it's the same recipe I had on hand for a while. The stream is brought to you by a beer, indeed. Sponsored by O'Neill Brewing Mountain Standard IPA. Where's my kickback? There's like this little divot in here that I was trying to fill in. I have to make another one of these sanding sticks. So I can get this pretty smooth, but these like organic, rounded areas are always a problem. What are you saying there, Sabretooth? Wax is so very appealing since it would save a fortune on resin iterations. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. I think I'm just not there yet, you know. I did need that one. Or not. I mean, for all the mistakes that I've made doing this stuff over the years, I think my like resin casting iterations is probably like the least wasteful thing that I've done. I've made way more bad molds than I've made like bad casts. Because like if my mold is bad, then I make one or two casts that suck, and I'm like, well, this mold is garbage. And then, you know, it just goes into a box to maybe be like retired at some point, and use as fodder on like another mold. But I haven't been making molds big enough that I've got like a lot of space for like excess chunks lately. I mean, I used up a lot of the scrap that I had that was like any decent size too. I guess what I should be doing is mixing all those. I should chop up those scraps into small bits and then like stir them into a liquid resin before I pour it, instead of trying to like infuse them as I'm pouring it. I don't know. The head is done cooking, so that Apoxie Sculpt is all going to be cured. I gotta go grab that. See if it's cool enough for me to handle yet. It doesn't get super hot, but I'd rather wait for it to be like room temp before I can mess with it. Curious to see if the armor that I'm casting, if it has the same bubble defects that the prototype did. I'm hoping that was like a fluke and it's not a problem with the mold. But I think I can fix it even if it is. I think I can just add some cuts to it to give it a bit more like airflow if the need is there. I'm saying there's a retreat. The cement pillar you're working on. Considering experiment with taking crushed resin bits, adding it as an aggregate. See if that might give an interesting effect. Yeah, I think that definitely has legs. Are you talking about in like the sculpt or in a cast? Because I could see you doing it in a cast to get like that like rocky texture. Oops. So I feel like that kind of texture, like a concrete texture, would be really hard to fake, you know? So I think an aggregate, like you're saying, would be a way to do that. And yeah, like resin bits can definitely simulate that. I guess the experiment's probably like messing with the size of the aggregate, like the size of the bits, I guess. Because if it's like too big, then it doesn't look right, you know. And if it's too small, then they just disappear into the resin as it like fills the space around them. Because like once it's under pressure, all those little air spaces, it like wants to fill those as like the air gets compressed. So it might require some like experimenting too. I think that's part of the fun too, is like trying things to see like what results you get and how close do they come out to like your vision, you know? Because I know for me it's like I have like a loose plan of what I think a thing is going to look like, and I kind of wing it as I go. I mean, that's not great for designing products, but like right now I'm just trying to have fun with it, so it's working out for me. trying to grab that stuff out of the... No. I'm gonna grab the guy out of the oven. And then, let's see, so he looks like he's good. Yeah, this stuff's all pretty hard. Ugh, so many broken strands. I bet some of them are breaking when I'm like multi-baking it. But it's just not thick enough. Alright, these guys are all, these look like they're done. Well, they feel like they're done. So let's see if these are ready to come out. Yeah, that's pretty rigid. Looks like the best one to take out first. It's still a little soft. It's not strong enough. I should really just keep these things out and use them all the time. Yeah, it's still pretty warm inside. I feel like I should leave this alone. We'll see. Whoops. Well, this is fucked. These didn't seat right. That sucks. That's a first. Well, that cast is a dud. And this is bent too. I guess the time has come to replace those with metal rods. Okay. That's fine. Metal rods it is. So I'll have to cut those tomorrow. Fortunately, that was the least important piece, because I have spares, well, other test casts that I could use, and I'll just recast it tomorrow. It'll be fine. And if it's a different shade of black, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's all trash. Whenever your mold comes out wrong, drink. Alright, let's grab these guys. That's right. This guy, I always gotta snap this thing off first. Looks like it came off okay. I was a little worried that it broke the part, but it didn't. Looks good overall. So that's good. That's scrap. Scrap. Keep that. Alright, later, Sabretooth. Thanks for hanging out. Scrap there. This looks pretty good. Thought it was like a little deformed. I'm planning to redesign this thing anyway in the later iteration. Try to improve some of the general flaws that it has. The design itself of the part, not necessarily like my molding of it. I mean, yes, my molds could be better, more efficient, etc. But there's things about it that don't quite work as well with my intention. So I'm gonna try to fix that. But I'm gonna do that on on a later version instead of trying to, you know, make everything perfect the first, well, this is the second time, but otherwise I'll just never get anything done. Huh, didn't expect that to break off. Oh, I don't think it damaged the part. No. Looks good overall. Should move this flashing. Flashing is actually pretty minimal on this one, which is nice. It's probably one of the cleaner ones I've cast this week. It's always a nice little surprise. That's good. There's always like a little bit on the inner lip. Damn it. Static cling is real annoying. This is the one that leaked a bunch. Fuck. Guess it's kind of tough with flash on it. It's internally leaked. Got one really clean one and one super messy one. So, there it is. This thing's got like flashing all around. What a mess. Let's say 5:15. Could pull the other one. 5:30, can't remember. Despite all this flash, like the cast is still pretty clean. So while this may be ugly, like, or messy, it doesn't affect the overall quality of the cast. It's that spot I always get it stuck on. No, flashing's not a problem. It's just so like it means your like mold halves aren't as like close together as they could be. And so what that, it doesn't initially matter, but like when you put your halves together, if the flashing was very thick, then like there's like a the seam around the edge, like where you break the stuff off, like all this stuff here, it's fine. It's actually fine on this one, but like you can have a wider line that you have to sand down or carve down. So that's like the major downside to flashing, is that it can make the cleanup of your part harder. It's not a problem like in and of itself. So like the thinner the flashing, it means your mold halves are like tighter together. And it's like partially like this mold's like not great because of these tall pegs. So it's harder to seat the halves together. So it tends to like, so if you have anything holding those from going together, it's like a gap for liquid to flow into. So it's just it's a flaw in the design of the mold. After I made that one, I haven't used those pegs again for like a few reasons. But it's not enough to like make me stop using the mold. It just means that there's a little bit more cleanup work for those pieces than I would like. I'm just trying to break this stuff off. So like as a contrast, right? This piece had almost very thin flashing, so it just tears off very easily. Whereas this is thicker, so I'm actually having to like clip it all off. Well, I guess that's good enough. That's right, this is the actual part. Well, one defect cast out of all this, and that's really just from misalignment, but this whole piece is like pretty much a waste. I should just cut these things down. That's what I should do. because they'll still align, but they'll align a little bit better if I just shorten them. Probably should have done this already, but more and I'm done. Close enough. There's resin stuck on the wall here too. Looks like, no, that's not resin. That's a chunk of other silicone. Let's see how much easier it fits together now. Much easier. Good. This is all trash garbage. That's good. This is garbage. Alright, so I'll trim this stuff down later. This is scrap. Tabs up. 514. These other casts. See what the condition of these things is. Yeah, these are still soft, so these need to be baked. These are gonna go in the oven. Oh, just take out my headphones. So then those will be fully cured in 15 minutes. Let's see, clean that stuff up later. I want to do another set of casts. That would be arms and legs, which is this. Oh shoot, I cast the armor in the wrong resin. Crap. Oh well. I guess we're gonna wait because I need that mold. So I'll just do a little bit more sculpting on this thing because it still needs it. I'll do one more pass on this thing today, and then I think I'm gonna take a break. Not quite. This big chunk was enough. It's tough to get it close. That's nice and mixed up. Okay. Looks like as good a place as any to start. Oh, God damn it. Alright, you're gonna end up putting all these back on, so just get used to that. Try not to break any more of them. Finger down inside there. Bunch of space under here. I should have fill in this like this under space. That's not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's kind of a little different than I expected, but whatever. It's part of how you learn. Things don't go exactly how you planned. Jesus Christ, of course. There's another broken strand. Baking this thing 10 times probably hasn't helped. Just keep filling this spot. I guess it's coming along. Stop turning, you dummy. whole area needs to be filled in. Still just gonna build it up in like layers though. Dishes are done. Guess what I can do is build volume up underneath these, and then I can glue the strands back on. So I'll just try to build like a support underneath. So I have something I can just glue them right onto. And that'll keep them, they'll still be fragile, but less so if they're glued down to a surface. It'll be harder to get like leverage under them to snap them off. Big area here that's kind of a problem. Yeah, sure. So I can try to pack it down into there. God, of course I broke one already. Jesus fuck. Oh, I just have to stay where you are. Hopefully the Apoxie Sculpt will keep you there. Dang it. Got a little bit more of this stuff to use up. So once I use it, or once I mix it, I gotta use it. Yeah. Build this up. So many areas that I haven't filled in yet. It's like precarious having to dance around these strands. Try not to damage them. I mean, not that I'm doing a great job of that, but that's the idea anyway. Last chunk. Don't do it, you're gonna break it. It's like so tempted there. Just keep chipping away at that. That's a little hard, okay. That's hard. That is... Alright, I guess that's everything. So that guy is sculpted as he's gonna get today. Those are done. Okay. So I can't do what I wanted to do because the I used the armor mold to pour the wrong. I used the wrong resin, so I'm gonna take a look at it. It's still a little soft or warm, so I might be able to get this out of here. Oh, there's one little bubble right there, so I'm gonna have to cut something there. But there's one small one there. But this guy's still soft, so I gotta try to pull this thing before it cools down. Because this is supposed to flex, and I used the wrong resin, so it won't flex. So I need to pull it while it still has some give. Not sure if this will go back to its original shape or not. Looks like it will. So this is the wrong resin because this is the rigid resin, and this piece in its final form needs to flex a little bit. Otherwise you can't put it on the figure. So this is a mistake. But it'll also serve fine as like something I can do some sculpting on. So I'm gonna set that guy aside and keep him. I want to cast some more stuff. I want to cast the last couple pieces, the arms, legs, and the armor in the with the correct resin. But I need to take a break, so I'm gonna end the stream for now, and I don't think I'll be back tonight, but I'll be back on Friday. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.